This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 251.
I program my own computer.
We have a server crash. 404 error. Page not found. Links aren't working. System is crashing. System is crashing. System is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology. Why, hello there, everybody. This is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, back in the studio this week. Really happy to be here versus being stuck at an airport for, 10 hours. Anyway, okay, upcoming events. We have one WordCamp. We have WordCamp Biratnagar. That is in Nepal, December 22nd. It, I think, is the last camp of the year, maybe? I'm pretty sure it could be. So if you're in Nepal or you're going to Nepal and you have a day to kill that you want to spend with some awesome people, I'm sure, out there, hit it up. WordCamp Biratnagar. It's awesome. So, I'm just still kind of on a high from WordCamp US. It was quite the experience. A lot of connections made, a lot of just awesome memories. So I'm just really happy. And I'm just looking forward to more camps again next year. Yeah, I did like 9 camps, by the way, this year. It's crazy. Okay, moving on. Segment 1. In the news, a couple things to share here. WordPress 5.0.1 has come out. It's been released to the wild. Fixes some security bugs and whatnot. Also, WordPress 4.9.9 came out. So if you didn't upgrade to 5.0, your site automatically should have upgraded to 4.9.9. I know mine did. A whole bunch of mine did overnight, a couple days back. So check that out as well. And also in the news, WordCamp US 2019 dates have been announced. It is November 1st through 3rd. It's in St. Louis, Missouri, for the next 2 years. And so you can plan early. It's going to be earlier than the last 5 years. It's November versus December, which is interesting, a month earlier. Of course, it does cause a slight problem because WordCamp Ann Arbor, which I'm a big fan of, my friends up in Michigan, they put that great conference on, that WordCamp, and that was the weekend they had chosen. So they are scrambling for a new date as well. So we'll see. But I will probably more than likely be at WordCamp US. And some people are not happy about the date only because it's the day after Halloween. And if you have young kids and you're still trick-or-treating, that doesn't affect me. So I can go buy my candy. Anyway, so there you go. Is that it for the news? I believe that's it for the news. Yeah, moving on to the meat and potato segment 2. But before that, here is a word from our sponsor this week.
As website owners, we want nothing but the best experience for the visitor to our website, whether it be finding information easily, a simple way to purchase our products, the hours of our stores, or even the simple FAQ. But what about us, the website owner? Don't we deserve to have a great experience too? The WordPress dashboard can become very confusing and overwhelming. From home pages, landing pages, standard posts, to custom post types, there's got to be a better way. And there is. It's Organized WP. Organized WP removes the confusion. Once activated, Organized WP consolidates all of your content types into a single content screen within the dashboard. It displays the site in an outline that matches your website. Better yet, you can customize how you see the site with an easy-to-use drag-and-drop interface. If by chance you have a bunch of standalone pages, let's say from multiple years of sales and offers, well, you can create groups for those and organize them too. So, if you're looking for the way to take control of your dashboard, head over to organizedwp.com and check out the demo video. You won't be disappointed.
And again, thanks to Organized WP and to John. He's awesome. Met him actually at WordCamp US. Fantastic gentleman, great developer, highly respected. So thanks again to sponsoring the show, organizedwp.com. Check that out. Okay, moving on, segment 2, the meat and potatoes. This week, it is time for a listener Q&A. I have a whole bunch this week. A handful from the same person, which is totally cool, and a handful from other people. So let's get into it. This one's sent in by Erica. Erica emails, what is the CCPA? Is it the same as the GDPR? And I'm like, honestly, I didn't know what that was. It sounded vaguely familiar, but I did some research for you just to make sure I knew what I was talking about. The CCPA is actually the California Consumer Privacy Act work. And I think that's why I got this message, because I'm from California. So it is similar to the GDPR. In a nutshell, CCPA will empower people to know the types of personal information businesses collect about them, giving them the right to not agree for the sale of the personal data to other parties. More specifically, it introduces the following rights. And this is very much similar to GDPR. Here are a handful of them, not all of them. I'll put a link to the show notes. Right to know the data collected by businesses on you, right to say no to the sale of your information, the right to delete your data, right to be informed of categories of data that will be collected about you prior to its collection and be informed of any changes to this collection, etc. Mandated opt-out before sale of children's information under the age of 16. So it sounds very similar to the GDPR that came into play earlier this year. And I guess it's just that California is trying to lead the way in the U.S. as far as privacy rights and consumer privacy rights. So does it affect the rest of the country? I don't know yet. I'm not an attorney. My father is, but I'm not. And so I can't give an opinion there. I'm not going to give any advice legally. I'll put a link in the show notes. I found an interesting blog post over at clearcode.cc, and you can do some research and digging into that. But it does sound very similar to GDPR. I think it comes down to this. Do right by your customers. Don't collect and sell data, okay? That would be the general broad stroke that I kind of abide by. If I have an email, I have many email lists and sub lists and whatnot. I just don't sell that data. I don't give it away. Ever. Simple as that. It's not worth it. I have the integrity. I trust my audience trusts me, and my customers trust me, etc. So I'm just not willing to do that. So there you go. Hope that helps you, Erica. And again, it's over at clearcode.cc. I'll put a link in the show notes so you can find more information about that. So, okay, another question. This one's sent in by Guy. Guy has a whole bunch of questions here. He listened to a whole bunch of the shows, and I met him at WordCamp Miami earlier this year. He's fantastic. He's awesome. Okay, so Guy says, you've mentioned launching your side podcast, It's Not a Hobby, for a few times over the last couple of years. Are you still thinking of doing this? Well, yes, Guy. Actually, I am, for sure, in 2019. As a matter of fact, I have a few more podcast ideas. One I just came up with literally a week ago. So first, let me tell you real quick, those who don't know, It's Not a Hobby. What I'm looking for there and what's kind of holding me up is people to interview, not WordPress related at all. I'm looking for people who, for example, went to law school, became a lawyer, maybe started working in their garage building wood furniture in a wood shop, and then took that as a hobby and made that into their new profession. They stopped doing the legal work, and it's no longer a hobby. They make money doing what their new passion is. So that's the story I'm trying to tell. I want to share that pivot. So if you have interest in that, if you know someone who kind of matches up, doesn't have to be exactly like that, let me know. I'm not looking for WordPress people right now because most people in the WordPress space have pivoted, and it's very common. So that might be season 2 or 3. But if you have a contact or somebody that you know, by all means, send them my way. They can email me, I believe, adam@itsnotahobby.com. And if you want to get information, sign up to when that podcast goes live, you can also go to that site. The site's mostly done on the back end, behind the Coming Soon page. It's just a matter of getting more interviews in the can. I have a couple right now, so I can then launch it. And I just didn't like the design I came up with originally, and I've rebuilt it a few times. Anyway, so yes, that is that idea there. The other idea that literally I just had a week ago, I'm looking for a co-host on that one. So it's kind of a weird thing. I'll tell you what it is. It's not exactly what it is. It's about movies and TV shows. So if you're interested in that, if I've piqued your interest in that genre, let me know. Maybe you could be my co-host. Shoot me an email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com. And I have literally probably 4 other podcasts, maybe 5 other ideas. Maybe I'll just start ASPN, Adam Silver Podcasting Network. Dun, 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 dun. It's like the ESPN. Anyway, I do have lots of other ideas for podcasts. And I've been told by a handful of people that I should go all in on podcasting. Maybe that's 2019 for me. I don't know yet. So, yeah. Good question. Nice poke in the bear. It's not a hobby. It's coming. It is coming, Guy. All right. Guy also asks, do you have any hints, tips, suggestions, resources on starting a WordPress meetup from scratch? Yes, I do. Matter of fact, I'm very passionate about this one. First and foremost, reach out to the foundation. If you want help with this, I can help you connect. There is a make.wordpress Slack channel. They will help you as well. They'll help cover costs. They'll get you signed up. They'll pay for the meetup itself. They'll help cover costs on the venue. The key, in my opinion, the suggestions here, is being consistent. Pick a date and a time that works for you. For example, the 3rd Thursday of the month. Find a venue. Be consistent in that location, okay? Lead the charge. Be open and feed people. If you ask 10 people about, hey, what should we talk about, you're going to get 10 different answers. So someone has to kind of own it, if you will. And it may not agree with everybody, but you got to lead the charge. Someone's got to be the leader, okay? Variety of formats. Is it a presentation each time? Is it an actual slide deck? Is it open general Q&A? I started with a presentation every time, and I moved it to an open Q&A, more of a general discussion. And I recently shared my keynote deck with someone in my mastermind group as an outline, because I do have a keynote. If you want to see it, I can share that too. That way they can you just have, it's the same thing each month that we did as far as the format, but it's just like hello, introductions, what's new in the world in WordPress, and then general Q&A. But anyway, and my opinion is don't start a meetup with an agenda, per se, like a personal agenda, meaning to drive business to you. Be authentic and things will just work out. Okay, I did it for 4.5, 5 years, and actually I'm about to shut down my old meetup in South Bay because no one took it over, and there are other groups there, so I don't want to get billed again. Anyway, so that's my opinion. Feed people, be authentic, and lead the charge. Okay, another question came in. This one from... Oh, this is also from Guy. WordCamps in Europe. You said back in 2016 you really wanted to attend a WordCamp in Europe, and then again in 2017. Have I had a chance to attend one? No, I have not. Berlin is next year. It's in June. I looked at the dates. Looks pretty possible, actually, because my kids are out of school. My daughter will be between high school and college, and maybe I'll take her on a European trip. I don't know. But that is a strong possibility. I need a new passport. My passport's going to expire in February, so we'll have to see about that. So that's there we go. Okay, maybe are you going to be there, Guy? Are you going? Who's going to WordCamp Berlin? Raise your hand. I'm raising my hand. Okay. This question's from Miro. Miro says, as you are a WordPress web designer and developer using meta tags of any kind when building... Are you, as a WordPress web developer designer, using meta tags of any kind when building websites? I think they're kind of old school and not many people use them, but I read somewhere in an SEO article they are so recommending it to use. Thanks for your answer and all your hard work. Oh, P.S. I'm originally from Slovakia, and I heard you once saying the name of our capital in your connection with WordCamp. Your pronunciation was almost right. So, I probably called it Bratislava. It's Bratislava. So I looked it up. Bratislava. Okay. So, great question, Miro, and thanks for listening from Slovakia. I'm not sure where he's living now. So this is, I looked this up. A friend of mine, Chris, over at Data Driven Labs, he did a blog post on this. And apparently the keyword meta tag is no longer used by Google, Bing, or Yahoo. And there's some back and forth on the questions that he answered as well. The question was, can people be penalized for keyword meta tags? Well, with Google, the answer looks to be a flat no. During a search engine roundtable, Gary Illies of Google was asked if the meta keyword tag was seen in a spam signal. Gary responded back with, it does not. The other question came up was, can I still use meta descriptions tag? And the answer is yes, and you should. Meta descriptions are still used by most search engines, including Google. So all that said, Miro, I am not an SEO expert. I have friends who are, including Chris, including Jen, and I source that type of work to them. To me, SEO, moving target, obviously. I believe having clear, concise, relevant, and consistent, updated content to your subject makes a difference, obviously. If you just put up a website with no changes anytime soon, or no blog, or it doesn't make sense to your audience, it's not going to be found. Yoast SEO, All-in-One SEO, all those other plugins also are a huge help. That I know. So I would say go to somebody, if you're looking to get SEO experience, do that. I mean, that's what I do. It's not my strength by any stretch. So, okay. Do I have any other questions here? I thought I had one more. Oh, okay. And last one here from Guy was wondering if there's a chance I could do a deeper dive into a podcast because this one's so short, more technical in addition to the normal format. I thought about that, actually. I thought about doing something as a second episode per week, or I don't know. It's a good question, Guy. Hard to go too deep in technical in an audio format was been my hesitation there. So if anybody else wants deeper dives, let me know. I'll take the poll right here, right now. If Guy's idea is validated, we'll do that. Or maybe, I don't know, I got to figure that out. Is that something people would want? Either one episode per month, deeper dive, or maybe I just make that like a YouTube video or a Zoom or something. I don't know exactly how I would do that. So let me know on that. Yeah, and if you have more questions, by all means, send them in. Guy sent in a handful more. I'll use those for in 8 to 10 weeks from now. I do these Q&A episodes, every 8-10 weeks. So there you have it. The questions from listeners' Q&A. If you have any, by all means, send them in. Okay, moving on. Segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week, I read an article on Fast Company. It's about neuroscience indicating about certain music songs reducing anxiety. This one song in particular reduces anxiety by up to 65%. There were also some playlists in there about other music. I'm going to go ahead and link to this article in the show notes, and I will embed the YouTube video for the 8-minute video piece so you can take a listen. And honestly, I listened to it. Pretty interesting. I kind of felt, I did feel much less anxious. It was interesting how it did kind of work. I think you need to be open to that as well. I'm pretty open to letting brain chemistry and brain science work on me. I'm not as closed off as I used to be. So there you have it. So it's an article in Fast Company about neuroscience. And I'm a big fan. I use Focus at Will. I've mentioned it before to help me stay focused, whether it's real or I don't know. I'm open to it and it works. So there you go. It works for me. I like it. I pay for it. Check it out. There's some free listening through my website over there at KitchensinkWP.com. E0251 will be the show notes. So I'm going to wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead and send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use the SpeakPipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, you can become a Patreon, KitchensinkWP.com/Patreon, Patreon. I want to thank those people who are Patreons. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do that too. There's a form on the website. Thanks so much for listening. Really do appreciate having you here. Go out and do some awesome things with WordPress, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.